My name is George Puchinsky, and I'm one of the instructors here at Bend2 Bay Club, and I hope all of you had a wonderful holiday season. So today I'm going to talk again about another component of setup, and I'm going to revisit a component of setup, which is trail hip side bend. And I've had a lot of members ask me what that means to have your trail hip into side bend, right? They understood when you hold a golf club, right, your right shoulder and your torso and spine is slightly tilted to the right, but the right hip, the trail hip for a right-handed golfer should also have side bend. And what I see a lot of when I teach is right hips or trail hips for a right-handed golfer that are too high. Okay, and if your trail hip is high, as you walk around, if your trail hip is too high, that's an invitation for injury and low back fatigue. And especially we play a lot of golf and hit a lot of golf balls, you don't want your trail hip high at address. You want your trail hip to be lower, like your right shoulder, so you can rotate into the golf ball on your tilts. And I'm going to explain what that means. So this is your spine. This alignment stick represents your spine. This alignment stick represents your shoulder line, and this alignment stick represents your hip line. So what I see a lot of people as they stand tall, when members come in, or any golfer, I see the trail hip being high. And the trail hip that's high is an invitation for injury and low back fatigue. So we want our core balanced. We want to have core balance, and we want to have our shoulder line and hip line level as we stand tall. So when we lean over the golf ball, now our spine is inclined and slightly tilted to the right. And you can see how this bottom stick that represents the trail hip is now matching the trail shoulder. Okay, it has side bend like the trail shoulder does. And what I see a lot of is that trail hip. You can see the stick, this alignment stick that represents the hip line is too high. Okay, and that again is an invitation for injury. So this is what it does for the golf swing. So if you have the right amount of side bend in your trail hip at address, you'll be able to rotate away from the ball on your tilts. And as you approach the golf ball, you can see how I'm rotating in on my tilts, and my right shoulder and my right hip is low as I approach the golf ball. And now I can approach the golf ball on what's called the angle of approach, or the inside approach to the golf ball. And these golf balls represent that little semicircle that I see, or that I ask my students to see as they approach the golf ball, is that little circle into the golf ball, which gives you an inside approach, which gives you that nice draw that we like to hit, right? That nice high right to left draw that goes farther than left to right shots. So if the right hip is high, again, this is your spine here. This is your shoulder line. This is your hip line here. So if I come into the ball, if I stand here at address, and my shoulder is low and my right hip is high, as soon as I start to rotate into the shot, into impact, the right hip goes out. It can't find the inside part of that golf ball. The right hip goes out because it's in the way, and then my right forearm and the golf club and the club head follow that hip out. And that's where you get that over the top pull and the grazes and the left to right shots from. And all that magic can happen unconsciously if you balance your core and square and level your hip line as you stand tall. So when you hold the golf club, you have the right amount of side bend in that trail shoulder and that trail hip. It helps to keep the golf club in the circle, and it helps you to approach the golf ball on the inside angle of approach to get that nice draw from. So how do we get this? So it's not something that you should have to install. As soon as you hold the golf club and get into your forward bend, you have side bend with your trail shoulder, but not necessarily your trail hip. So you don't want to have to install that. So there's a series of exercises that takes 90 seconds to do to 2 minutes, which brings me to my final comment and statement. We have Dr. David Wright coming to Bend2 Bay Club on January 20th. He is a California Teacher Hall of Famer, and he was just been awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award for a top 100 teacher. Dr. David Wright's 30 years of research has unraveled the biomechanical secrets of balance. And he's going to be here, and he is going to work with the membership on January 20th for 2 half-day workshops in the morning from 9 o'clock to noon and 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And you're going to get to meet Dr. David Wright in person. He's going to show all of us those proprietary isometric exercises that balances your core and squares and levels your hip line. All those videos that I made before about forward bend, being a rotational value, and side bend and your grip, all that I learned from Dr. Wright. My mentor and friend is going to be here on January 20th. This is an event you don't want to miss. I hope this was informative. Until next time, we'll see you on the lesson tee.